we're back at Brisbane's old rugby league ground, Lang Park. 40 years old in 1998. A big crowd in excess of 30,000. And Simon Poitevin, plenty of support for the visiting team, which is good to see.
Well, they're looking for a few surprises here tonight, and certainly the English pack in particular. 6 out of those 8 players will be the first players picked in this English side. They've left some good players at home, there's no doubt about that. The back line does lack some experience, but there's some exceptional players, especially Matt Perry, Austin Healy in that back line, who will cause a lot of excitement tonight for the English fans.
Well, Chris Handy down on the touchline. Bring us up to date with the situation there.
Well, you can see the atmosphere, all the painted faces. The English won't lack for support. And as that camera pans across, it's only the unlicensed out of the tempting.
Tony Diprose leading out the England sides. This is their first ever venture onto Suncorp Stadium. And I think we nearly lost Graham Roundtree there with the fireworks. Wouldn't that be a disaster if someone got a spark in the eye? So Tony Diprose, the inspiring skipper of Saracens. There's Ben Sturnham. Simon, the young flanker for England.
A lot of raps on Ben Sturnham, and Graham Roundtree with those ears he's got out there. Lucky he doesn't lose in those fireworks. 5 new caps in the England lineup. In the backs, Brown, Ravenscroft and Benton. Up front, Poole Jones, Sturnham. Also 5 new caps when they met Australia back in November at Twickenham. The only survivors from that game are Perry, Archer and skipper Diprose. But there are 4 members of the Titley's Bitter Cup winners, Saracens, 4 also from the Leicester Tigers, and 2 from Newcastle and Gloucester. So it's a lovely evening here in Brisbane. Almost a subtropical climate here at the moment. And the England players warming to the task. Yeah, we saw Rod McQueen before the game, the Australian coach. Very relaxed. He's had a very thorough preparation for this game. Phil Kearns, very nervous.
What a moment for Philip Kearns. He is a former Wallaby captain. He's not the leader of this side, but tonight he is first out on the field. A 3-year absence from the Test arena. Tonight he gets his 50th cap. A moment to savour. Tremendous response from the Suncorp crowds. I think we can almost see a cheer rolling down the cheek of Philip Kearns. John Hills. And there's Ben Tune, the 21-year-old from the Jeeps Club in Brisbane. Well, it's a precarious entry onto the field. I think all 30 have made it safely. And just 8 survivors from the Wallaby team that scrambled a draw against England last November. A big test for Stephen Larkham. His first run on cap at fly half. Tim Horan back at inside centre. Tom Bowman, the only new cap in the Wallaby side. 5 from New South Wales, 7 from Queensland, 3 from the ACT. Stephen Larkham, the man in the limelight tonight for the Australian team. And Tom Bowman, Baraba's first Wallaby since Billy Snakebite McKitt. So the 2 sides now lining up for the national anthems. Andre Watson from South Africa will be our referee tonight. Stirring and emotional scenes here at Suncorp Stadium as we look at the two reserve benches. 7 players on either bench, and a lot of newcomers there for England, and some great experience in the Australian team. Jason Little, Willie Offa Hingawe and Dan Crowley, all part of the 1991 World Cup campaign.
Yes, the Australians certainly have got some stormtroopers on that reserves bench. Willie O, Owen Finnegan, and this man, Steve Larkham. The English think he'll be the weakness of the Australian side tonight. I don't think so. I think he'll be a star.
David Wilson, who led Australia in 2 test matches last year. Andre Watson from South Africa, who controlled the match between Australia and England last November. And he will be assisted tonight by an all-New Zealand panel of Paddy O'Brien and Paul Honus. So this test match going live in Australia and on delay on the 7 Network and Prime, to Mnet in South Africa, to Sky in New Zealand, and Australia looking to retain possession from the opening kickoff. So Larkham gets an early touch. His left foot kick taken by Stimpson on halfway. Ball goes ahead about 15 metres. Larkham came in and lost a head. That's Poole Jones, the number 7 for England. Cockrell puts his head down. Just got away from Bowman. England clear it wide now. Lovely work by Perry. Stimpson arrives. Good clean out by the England forwards. But the referee said a player left his feet. And we've seen Andre Watson in Super 12 be very strict on that facet of play.
Excellent counter from David Wilson. Got across that cover tackle. Stimpson was through. Now it was Perry through. Down Wilson brings him.
And I just wonder whether the knot will disappear from Phil Cairns' stomach.
Well, England getting themselves into terrible trouble, but Spencer Brown from the Royal Marines saves the day. We're on the 22. Scott Benton now at scrum half. And a nice left foot clearance there from the 19-year-old Johnny Wilkinson from the Newcastle Falcons.
Well, Clive Woodward would feel very good with that start from the English side. Spinning the ball wide, finding one hole there in the Australian backline defence. Now Australia with their real first chance. George Gregan did very well early on to cover up a loose ball, but now Phil Cairns back on the number 2 for the Wallabies.
And this will be a test not only for the Wallabies but also for Andre Watson to keep a nice clear jump.
Well, you saw Cobain pushed out there. The referee allows play to continue. Larkham. Wallabies set it up in centre field. David Wilson making 7. Tom Bowman is there. Gregan. Australians may have been lucky to get away with that one. Torai Kepu getting very involved early on. Here they go. Larkham looking dangerous. Lovely pass to Burke. England come away. They've pilfered possession. Austin Healy. But there you saw Stephen Larkham attacking those England backs.
Isn't it amazing how Larkham is just able to ghost into a gap, got his hands nearly clear. Plenty of attention and good defence. They scrambled well, England, just wrestling the ball off Churn as he hit the line and clearing well.
Well, great experience there from Austin Healy. Eels comfortably. Australians over the quarter. They've kept it off the ground. Now Gregan wants it. Here's Larkham again. Ben Tune. Beautifully tackled by Ravenscroft. We're still in centre field. Advantage being played here. Gregan, there's an overlap. Here's Burke. Gregan still has it. John Eales. Cobain. Very strong. Kearns was there to Gregan and Roth. Good support play. John Eales very close. And a foot into touch. Referee hasn't seen it. Well, the crowd not happy there, but Paul Honus was Johnny on the spot.
I love this enthusiasm from the Australian side. Everyone willing to have a run. John Eales, Cobain, Kefu. They're all out there, and George Gregan doing extremely well on the back of the rucks and mauls.
The key to this is changing their point of attack and changing it often and quickly. They're trying to take England out of their comfort zone by moving the ball around. It's working so far.
Fine jump there by Danny Grucock, the 25-year-old from Saracens. He scored a try in the cup final. So Scott Benton again. Here comes Tune. Play on, says the referee. It went straight down. David Wilson wearing headgear tonight. So is his Queensland back row partner, Kepo. Long pass to Horan. Tim Horan with strength. And offside ruling against England. Regan looking to go on quickly, but this one within kicking range.
We saw so quickly that English back line getting on top of Tim Horan. Nice smooth pass from Steve Larkham there at fly half. And this is good to see. The Australians are getting back the 3 points, increasing the pressure, going to the line.
Well, they've gained only about 4 metres. They would have been looking for another 10. We're on the 22.
Line-out's important for the Wallabies. They must go to hand. Their combination, I've worked on it during the week. It's just got to work. The timing is crucial.
Good work by Cobain. Richard Harry came into ball, using his 120 kilos to great effect. That's Archer number 4. Here's Larkham again. Herbert with strength. Kefu in support. Now Gregan with quick ball to Larkham. Australia need to maintain possession here. Burke, Tune and Roth. England hold on in the last line. Phil Vickery, the 22-year-old, the man they call the Raging Bull, saved the day. Tim Horan had a couple of games at fullback in Super 12. Larkham ghosting, so elusive. It's only 10 metres out. Joe Roth has come in. Kefu is there. Australia 5 metres out. It has to be a try, but someone went over the top with the 5-pointer beckoning.
Well, that's a tough call from Andre Watson as Richard Harry concedes that he was the man responsible. But Joe Roth getting so close to line there. It's a tough call, this one. It's a tough call.
When you hit the man in general play, he holds you up, and then the weight of your pack behind you moves him forward and it collapses. I agree with you, Simon. That's tough. Crucial because Australia needed points early. They've had all sorts of pressure on. They must convert it and keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Well, England under relentless pressure here from the Australians as Cockrell throws in.
Phil Kearns lost it backwards. Referee is happy. With 30 metres out, here's Larkham again. Working there with Daniel Herbert. Wilson was there. Larkham with Horan. Tune's outside. Ben Tune just couldn't get there. He lost his footing. Again, the line was wide open for the Australian backs.
As Tim Horan has done so well during the Super 12, just getting through this gap. He's got the acceleration back, and he goes. Finds Tune outside, but the cover comes across. Good cover from the English.
It has been terrific defence. They've needed plenty, but they've not shirked their duty. They're very committed young side.
Well, it's been heroic defence from England so far. Fierce pressure from the Australians. That's a better drive from the white forward pack. Dipro's leading the way. Now it's Scott Benton. It's a good clearing kick. And we're midway between 22 and halfway.
Clive Woodward First time we've seen him coaching here in Australia. I've seen him play as a player before, both at club and international levels, as Phil Kearns sizes up his line out. Tom Bowman ready at 2.
Great opportunity to look at this throw from Kearns. Bowman, the debutant test. Tremendous to see him at this level. A lot expected of him, and he's up to the task. The big boy from Barraba.
Over the back, Dipros. So a mistake by Australia, and a chance for England to hit back after absorbing all of that early pressure. Wilkinson goes wide. Stimson looking to come into the line. And Spencer Brown looks a lively customer on the right wing. Australians looking to try and turn the ball over here, but can't.
They'll have to keep an eye on Scott Benton. Loves a run with the ball, an attacking halfback. Just trying to gel with his fly halves, Johnny Wilkinson.
Andre Watson, you'll hear, will call tackle ball, which is a ball that goes straight to ground as a ruck. The last side going forward gets the put into the scrum. But if it's a maul and then it collapses to the ground, it's quite the other way. You turn over possession.
Well, England have demonstrated here that Australia has a real fight on its hands tonight.
Fly half stats, Steve Larkham. Pass 7, kick once. Wilkinson's had 2 possessions. He's 3 possessions. He's passed 2 twice and kicked the once.
The first clash in the front row. Both keen. Previously, they've been pushing around scrum machine. Now it's live.
And the England front row getting some good hits on early at the engagements. Scott Benton. That's a deft kick. Burke was there. Was he in the air? He certainly was in the air, but the referee was happy with the tackle. You can't tackle a man in the air. And he was just cushioned to ground, so that was a good decision. But that is a free kick for charging in. Here's Gregan. Cheeky as you like. 5 from halfway. Phil Kearns with a big charge. Larkham again. Drilling it towards the corner. That's a fine kick from Larkham, just 7 metres out.
Well, this is one of the reasons why Steve Larkham is fly half. He has got a sensational boot on him. Cool under pressure. Watch this. This is surgical.
Brilliant piece of footage from up above in the Whitman's lightship. You can see just looking for that chess-like tactical positioning on the field. Now it's up to his forwards. Contest this English ball. They've done it well early.
Well, another fine jump there by Danny Grucock, who made his debut against the Springboks last season. And Wilkinson on his right boot. Well, he's been dubbed the boy wonder, Johnny Wilkinson. He was here with the England schools last year. No score. So Phil Kearns, 30 metres out from the goal line. Australia on attack here. Tom Bowman was pulled out. He called for it. He was held down, says Andre Watson. And so the penalty is 15 metres in.
It's number 4, Danny Grucock, who's interfered with Tom Bowman here.
Well, he went up,
the grunts coming out of the Australian line out.
He jumped for the ball initially, and as he came down, he realised he'd gone too early, missed his timing, and dragged Tom Bowman, who was just getting to the top, down with him. And this time they've elected to go for the post, and I think it's timely. They've got to get this scoreboard ticking over. They've had pressure and position on the field. Now they've got to have points.
See in replay there. Tom Bowman just mauled with that ball in the air. Didn't have a clean shot at the ball as Matthew Burke lines up.
So we've had 14 minutes of play, and can England survive this penalty goal? It would be a terrific result for them, because Australia's had all the territory and most of the possession. Matthew Burke, a fluent stroke, and some vital points there for the Wallabies, who go to an early lead. So that really was a very measured attempt by Matthew Burke. His 222nd test point. We're back with Wilkinson now, who kicks with both feet. Eels there, and very strong. Again, Stephen Larkham. Well, Eels was in the air, and the referee not happy that time. He was taken out. It's a dangerous action there by the defenders.
No, it was in the air. Yeah. On the guys, on the ball. Yeah. Okay. On the ground. Yep. Here we go.
Tony Diprose, English captain for the first time.
So Clive Woodward, who came in as coach of the England team, and they didn't have a win in their first 5 games, but they had 2 draws in that count against Australia and England. Both he and Rod McQueen coming in as national coaches late last year.
This is the housekeeping. No hands on the shorts until the ball comes. Not beforehand. All right, let's go.
That's Graham Roundtree at the front.
This is good refereeing. As Andre Watson said, a bit of housekeeping. Just get the warnings out there before the penalties start rolling.
Ben Sturnham, number 6, Diprose 8, and Poole Jones, a late replacement, coming in at number 7. Well, not a good throw there from Kearns. He was annoyed with that one. Benton. Here's Wilkinson. And he rifles the ball downfield.
Backline closing. Backline closing.
So the back line coming up inside the 10 metres before the line-out had finished.
Well, quite clear. It's a fairly technical ruling, but a good one. In the line-out, when the ball is caught and brought straight down, both back lines must stay 10 metres. Now, here's the picture. England holds the line. Watch Australia creep. Larkham comes up. The ball hasn't gone away from that line of touch. Larkham has brought the whole Australian back line up. It plays the advantage, Andre, which is good work. Immediately, it looks like it's going to open space, pulls it back.
Well, they're 2 superb line-out jumpers, Gareth Archer and Danny Grucock.
And there's a mistake by the 19-year-old, but in turn, Australia not capitalising. Joe Roth trying to take it Aussie rules fashion as the ball wasn't going out. Quick throw here. Grucock, Benton. That's Sturnham. 5 metres out. England looking for the first try. Australia scrambling here in defence. Wilkinson. Ravenscroft wrapped up by Larkham. Benton now. Poole Jones, 5 metres from the goal line. Well, a great attacking position, but a wall of Wallaby jumpers there with their lateral defence.
Really test the Australian back row. Get their angles right here. England in a superb attacking position.
Another important scrum on this side. Andrew Blades and Graham Roundtree.
Shoulders high over the hips, and he's going to stay there and not back off onto the number 2s, all right? He's got to spread it up.
So, Chris, just explain.
Well, he's saying that one of the props is holding back and not making contact. He's balking as he comes in, but they come together well now.
Benton then. Diprose, Australia read the back row move well. And an Australian player offside. He wasn't behind the last feet in the ruck.
Steve Larkham across. Sensational cover.
Australia 3-0. Well, the England forwards very fired up here, Simon Poitevin.
They spent most of their time camped in the Australian 25.
So Johnny Wilkinson, just 15 metres to the right-hand side of the uprights. This will be his first goal kick in international rugby. Schoolboy with the England team last year, as we told you. He made his test debut as an 18-year-old. He is the youngest player in 71 years to pull on the England jumper. This to level the scores. Well, we can forgive the youngster. He's missed that easy attempt, but it was a very nervous strike of the ball indeed. Tim Stimpson is also a reliable goal kicker at fullback. Burke goes deep. This is Spencer Brown. He looks a lively customer. Matt Perry caught just 8 metres from halfway. So the England players leaving their feet again to protect the ball carrier.
I think that Andre Watson may need to have a think about the laws of science and of gravity. It's very difficult when you're piling in there to actually stay on your feet. English pack just driving in there, trying to secure that ball, and he's got him for going over the top.
That looks a pretty tough decision from our position. Chris, how did you see it?
Well, it does. He's saying you're not giving the opposition time to set up against you. When Australia doesn't commit a lot of numbers to that ball, they had already accepted that England would win it, and then their forwards continued to drive in. Without opposition, they folded in over the top. Technically, the referee's right. I don't know in the spirit of the game whether that's exactly where the crowd wants him to be.
Well, I suppose the referee's got to just watch what Australia's doing, as you say. If they're not committing players to that tackle, it's very hard for the England players to stay on their feet. Now Burke, 43 metres out from goal. Straight out in front of the goalposts. This to give Australia a 6-0 lead. Straight as a die. Vodafone Wallabies 6, England 0. And we've had 22 minutes.
What a reversal of fortunes. England well on attack 3 or 4 minutes ago, and now Australia an extra 3 points.
So England not converting that pressure into points on the scoreboard. It should have been 3-all. Now a 6-point difference. Eels again. England spoiled and down on the loose ball. Australia come away. Joe Roff, left foot. Back here with Stimpson. From the Newcastle Falcons. He's now moved to the Leicester Tigers after a standoff, a contractual standoff with the club. Only played a handful of matches in the past season.
Ruck and Maul count favouring the Wallabies by 18-12.
So Phil Kearns looking to find the money here with his line-out throw after 2 that have missed their man. John Eales to Harry. Wallabies clean out. England may have rucked this one back. So good spoiling by the visitors. And this one within goal-kicking range.
Desperation there from the Wallaby forwards. The hands coming through to try and get that ball back as it moved into English territory. Richard Harry takes the ball down. The drive comes through. This is where the ball started to come back the English way. And Andre Watson spotted the Australian fan coming through.
6-0 Australia. So Wilkinson, let's see if he can redeem himself here. Johnny Wilkinson lining up about 38 metres out from goal. This one on his favoured left side. Needs to settle the nerves. This his first run on Test match. Has it got the legs? He's just pulled it. So is it time for a change of kicker? Australians do well. Gregan now, and Larkham. That's a high tester, 10 metres from halfway. Stimpson running back at Horan. What a mighty tackle. Just over halfway. Australia penalised another 10 metres. Matt Cobain. Lack of discipline there from the Wallabies. Here comes Vickery. Oh, that was a big charge. He took 2 men with him. Wilkinson now. Stimpson's in. Lovely hands to Brown. Horan across. He got away from Horan. But finally buried by the cover.
You see the confidence growing.
Stephen Larkham.
Players. Spencer Brown, he's been good tonight. But the cover across. Horan slows him up, and here comes Larkham.
And Steve Ravenscroft into the blood bin just as this was all happening. Horan nearly got him, slowed him up, but Larkham, running the angle of a good fullback, comes across and drills him into touch.
Spencer Brown, a bandsman with the Royal Marines. He plays the French horn. And, well, that's not a happy sight for Steve Ravenscroft, the 27-year-old from Saracens. And so a new cap now for Stuart Potter. Well, that's Richard Poole-Jones coming off the field. And another replacement coming on, Ben Clark.
Ben Clark, he's been out of the universe over there at the English sides the last couple of years, but he's a good player.
So 2 blood bins for England. That's Cobain with terrific athleticism that time. So again, it's as though the England backs crept up inside the 10 metres. The line out hadn't finished.
It was a short line out. The English forwards extra were back. When it got brought down here, they came forward, and you'll see, and they joined. It hadn't gone off that line of touch. And Andre Watson, very good policing of that facet of play.
So Ben Clark on the field. His 34th cap. He's the most experienced man in the England team. Cobain again. We're on halfway as the Wallabies settle things down. Good charge there from Harry. Here's Larkham again. Kefu. Here's Herbert. Matthew Burke-Collins. Matt Perry, the tackler. England killing the ball that time in desperate straits. 28 metres out.
Well, Ben Clark being identified as staying wrapped around Matt Burke. But it's good to see Australia being able to carry the ball deep. He made the tackle, Clark. He's a great back rower, but stayed tucked in around the ball, preventing the Wallabies getting at it. Andre Watson had seen him, identified him, and then penalised him.
So we have 12 minutes before the break. A very competitive England side here at Suncorp. No tries in the game. Eels, Harry and Gregan. Here's Larkham now, standing flat. Herbert crunched in midfield, but he got through the tacklers. Gregan now, overlap for Australia. Quick hands needed. Kepu! Try Kepu! Gets his first Test match try in his home city. A vital score near the break.
It's almost been 30 minutes into the game and Toto Kepu gets across for a terrific Australian try. Herbert does extremely well here, gets over the advantage line, crunches a couple of English defenders. Andrew Blades is a link man there and it goes wide and Kepu just crashes across.
I've got to say the change of direction and this pass from Larkham is the key to a try outside. Toto Kepu, go you good thing.
Well, Stephen Larkham looks as though he's been playing fly half all his life. He's been everywhere tonight. But concern on halfway for Tim Horan as Larkham with a cutout pass to Kepu. Looking like Willie-O as he crashes over in the corner.
Well, it's good to see the skills of the front rower there, able to keep that movement going. Stephen Larkham's pass was good, but Blades got it to him.
It was good work from Blades, wasn't it, Simon? He just kept pushing it on. He knew the urgency was outside, and there was the opportunity.
Matthew Burke from touch, pushing that one wide. Australia 11, England 0, 10 minutes to go. So Matthew Burke has kicked 2 from 3. John Eales very pleased to see that 5-pointer for the Australian team. John Eales. It's Cobain taking ahead. Larkham. Daniel Herbert again. Elusive. Benchu. Halfway. Kick and chase. He's got the speed. Stephen Larkham. What an Australian score.
This try has got everything. What skill by the Australian players. As Stephen Larkham, maybe would fly half here. Played half a game against the All Blacks last year and did well. Beautiful pass, and Herbert gets round his man, switches to Tune. What's this chip from Tune? Sides up Stimson, and the unselfish pass here to Larkham. That's beautiful.
Great work, and I think the key, the lack of mistakes by the Wallabies in this opening 20 minutes. Daniel Herbert has been the key, solid in the back line, brings Tune back inside, and then a little bit of magic. He got it under his arm, he can't quite get it back into his hands, and unselfishly gives it to Larkham.
Well, suddenly the Wallabies are up by 18 points, and still 8 minutes before the break. Savage blow there from the Wallaby backs. And Larkham in it twice. Johnny Wilkinson. John Eales. Wallabies with their tails up now. They've driven that ball 12 metres. So we're just short of halfway. Larkham now. Kepu in midfield. Herbert again. Horan and Tune. Horan. Herbert. They'll keep it alive. Wilson. England fully stretched. Fine tackle by Wilkinson. Australia have numbers out here. Burke is out wide. Desperate tackle. Harry. 2 men in front. 15 metres out. Now the Wallabies go again. Joe Rock. A settler. England hold on. And the referee played a long advantage And this is a get three-pointer out in front of the posts.
We'll see that Rod McQueen's brought a new attacking platform in as we see one of the Bloodbin players coming back onto the field. Players coming in depth on attack. So many options for the man with the ball. It really is confusing the English defence.
Well, it really has come with a rush, Chris. And look at this great tackle by Tony Diprose, but Burke still had the presence of mind to offload, and look at the skills and support play from the Wallabies.
The constant changing of direction and the depth of the support. Players running onto the ball and having the ball put out in front of them. They're not having to take it off their hip or down off the ground. It's being put in front of them and they're hitting it at pace. The English defence has been robust, but gee, how long can it hold out?
Matthew Burke punishes. So Australia out to a 21-0 lead, and we still have 6 minutes to go.
Rod McQueen would honestly say that he's taken a lot of the ideas from the Springboks last year from Nick Mallett. The way they play at the end of the season on the European tour is the way the Wallabies are playing here tonight.
Wilkinson goes short and high. Eels couldn't hold on. Now Benton. Well, the England backs have hardly seen any ball over the last 12 minutes. And things have gone downhill since that missed penalty goal by Wilkinson. Here's Burke. And England desperately needs a score now as we close on half-time. Back to Wilkinson. Austin Healy's kick went straight to Burke. That's Rock. He's beaten two. Andrew Blades in support. Now Gregan with a long pass. This is Burke. He spotted a gap and went through.
It's accidental. It's accidental. He wanted to tackle him. He couldn't.
And some accidental obstruction there by the Wallabies, so a scrum.
As referee Andre Watson said, the English player wanted to make the tackle, but John Eales got in his way.
Good play by Burke. He drifted wide, then straightened. He knew exactly what he was about. John Eales hadn't quite switched on, and they crossed the English defence, preventing them from getting in to make the tackle.
$21-0, the score here at Suncorp. Just short of halfway. This is Sternum. And a great charge here by England inside the 22. But Australia's forwards there in numbers, and they drive it back and win the scrum feed.
Oh, big bust there from Sternum, followed up by Big Ben Clark. Eventually stolen here by the Wallabies. Watch Sternum go. 115 kilos, finds Clark. Matthew Burke, super tackle, takes him to ground. Looks like Bowman stole the ball.
So the Wallabies winning the scrum feed, but two first-half tries to Tode Kepu after 28 minutes, and then 3 minutes later, Stephen Larkham getting Australia's second. England given 24-point start in this game by Centrebet. At the moment, the Wallabies ahead 21-0.
Yeah. Only one of us. Only one of us.
So Ravenscroft is back on the field, but no number on his jumper.
Come on, give us space. Get up. Right there.
Roundtree, Cockrell and Vickery. Another hard engagement. We're on the Australian quarter.
Stay down. Stay down.
Held in by Kefu. Larkham. That one coming off the side of his boot. Stimson. Brown getting back to support. But Larkham with plenty of time here. From inside his 22. Brown back there with Dimrose. No knock-on, says the referee. Well, the crowd didn't agree. 10 from halfway. Referee keeping the Australian backs on sides. Wilkinson. Ravenscroft. Perry went without it. He's looked a little lost in the centres tonight. Normally a fullback. Larkham. Big step. He spots a gap. Steps beautifully. Tune to the corner. Larkham again. Gregan. 5 metres out. There it is to Horan. Another one for the Wallabies. They're third.
Well, this one all comes back to one man, Steve Larkham. He's worked his magic. He's found a way through, he's found Ben Churn, and then he's reappeared again. Works his way across here, finds Ben Churn, throws again a good pass, backs up on the inside. There he is again, Larkham. Gregan tackled out the ball but takes it, and just a simple one for Tim Horan. Won't get easier.
And Chris, what about the doubters of Stephen Larkham at fly half?
Well, good, and I've got to say that I was one that said that you don't take Australia's form fullback and put him at fly half, but he's done superbly so far. He's just beautifully balanced, he's distributed the ball, he's kicked intelligently, and his support play is just showing that he wanted to get in more of the play, and I suppose he's probably been frustrated at fullback.
Well, he's had a surfeit of possession tonight, and his option taking has been decisive. Nat Burke's not getting any easy conversions. Not quite. 40 seconds to go before half-time. Australia by 26-0.
Not an Australian player out there who's not really showing tremendous skill and athletic ability tonight.
Well, the England side shell-shocked after this onslaught. And it's all come in the last 14 minutes. Wallaby forwards on the rampage. Wilson. Ball slipped backwards. Here's Roth. There's the hooter. Larkham now. Over halfway, Kepu there. Australia lost a head. England will be glad to see the dressing room at half-time. That was Sternum, brought down just short of halfway. Wilkinson with lovely hands. Charged down by Harry. No one in front. Richard Harry, can he do it? Austin Healy put the foot down on the accelerator. Here's Kearns. Here's Roth. And here's an overlap. What about the pass to Horan? Wilson and Tune. Healy didn't put the ball out and has presented Australia with another 5-pointer.
Austin Healy did so well to get back that ball. Richard Harry did tremendously well to charge it down. Then Healy makes the fatal mistake of not finding touch. And they open up. Watch Cobain. Slings the ball across field. Finds his Queensland mate Tim Horan. Gets it wide, and Tune, this try-scoring machine, goes in.
Well, Austin Healy, a disastrous miss. And look at this ball. The new Summit ball flying high and true. Wilson to Tune. You good thing.
This is Burke's 7th shot at goal. Kepu, Larkham, Horan, Tune. 4 tries in 12 minutes. Clive Woodward looks at the scoreboard in disbelief. The Wallabies have exploded here at Suncorp Stadium. That is half-time. 33-0. And 27 points coming in 13 minutes. Half-time, Australia in command. And I'm told it's a problem in the truck because this box is working here. Devastated England team coming back out onto the field here at Suncorp Stadium because they have been shattered in the final 15 minutes of that first half. As we have another bird's eye view from the Whitman's Lightship at Suncorp Stadium, Australia turning on 27 points in the space of 13 minutes to lead by 33-0 at the break. Simon Poitevin.
Yeah, we just had a yarn to Rod McQueen. Just wants the side to go on it within the second half, as Buddha said at half-time. England, he said, are playing quite well. They are playing quite well, but Australia are playing exceptionally well out there. So many opportunities, and making the most of every opportunity. The Australian side will start their season with a big boost if they can continue the first half form in the second half of this game.
Well, Chris Handy, Clive Woodward before the game said, if our defence can hold, we're going to be very competitive. Say no more.
I don't think it's the defence that's been bad. It's just been Australia have probed until there's nobody there. They're tossing in, but they just don't know where the next attack's coming from.
So Burke with a deep kick taken by Sternum, who had a couple of good charges in the first half. He's a big, strong man. Benton probes and goes straight through. Eales got him from behind. What a great tackle. So that's a sluggy start from the Australians, but England fired up for this second term. Cockrell goes in. That's Diprose. 12 from halfway. The backs come and clean out. Now England through Perry, trying to get involved. Gregan the tackler. Scott Benton again goes himself. Beautiful bust by the scrum half. Austin Healy. And a little knock on by Vickery. Well, Healy didn't need to throw that pass into such traffic. So a little bit of composure lacking there for England in a promising situation.
Well, clearly the message at half-time from Clive Woodward was go for it. You've got 33 points ahead of you. Just throw that ball around and try and get through these green and golds.
I think a subtle irony there. They got the ball and then just didn't know what to do with it.
Here's Daniel Herberts. Regan and Larkham. Just again a low trajectory, probing towards the touchline. Stimson tutors through. He got a boot on it. A rebound. Those England players can pick it up. They're all on side. Cockrell. So it was a ricochet, as the referee said, and no advantage there for the England team. And remember, Australia has been in this position last year at the House of Pain when they trailed the All Blacks by 36-0 at half-time.
We'll try to forget about that one, Gord.
Oh, I don't think John Eales will be letting them, his boys forget about it. They must go on.
Well, again, Ben Sternum with a bullocking run. A good line for England. Wilkinson. Benton looping. That's Austin Healy. Great defence from Herbert. Spencer Brown into Bowman. 12 from halfway. England making heavy weather of their attack at the moment. They have found a couple of gaps just on the fringe of the ruck. Sternum into Gregan, standing wide. Benton working to Perry. He shimmers through a gap. Lovely offload there to Grucock. We're just over halfway. Well, that's a frustration for the England team.
You're not going to get on top of him. Ball. Don't get on top of him.
A clear indication there to Vickery. Use the feet here, unnecessary. Good run by Grucock. Harry goes to ground and Harry feels the feet of Vickery.
Well, that's unfortunate for England. They had a roll on. They were getting good flow of possession, putting some pressure on, finding a few little gaps opening up, but now it's up to the Wallabies and must get back to that tempo. The speed with which the ball was coming from their plays was just quite incredible.
Tom Bowman at the front of the Australian line out here. Eales second from the back. And Cobain got it. Eales with the deflection. Bowman drove low. Here's Larkham. Kefu in midfield. Ravenscroft the tackler. Larkham clears it to Horan. Numbers again for Australia. Bowman. Pass lost ahead. Well, too many Australians there, eager to score the try.
Only 6 turnovers in the first half for the Wallabies, 4 for England, but the Wallabies had the bulk of the ball. Here's a replay. This is the first of the second half as Tom Bowman finds himself throwing a shocker into Joe Roff. Joe Roff had no chance of pulling that ball in.
So Matt Cobain leaving the field here, just for a blood bin. 33-0. That was the half-time score.
In comes Owen Finnegan.
So Owen Finnegan packing down on this side of the scrum. Finnegan wearing the number 22 jumper. Burke, sure hands. And that's a scrum feed for Australia because the ball was smothered from a kick in general play.
Matt Cobain, very vigorous first half, high work rate. Finnegan will make the most of his time on the field.
Australia have got to lift the pace. They can't allow England to just slow them up by some grinding tactics. It's up to them to dictate the play. They've got the runs on the board and have got to go on with it.
Graham Roundtree in the headgear on the far side.
Noticeable good in the deeper backline alignment of the Wallaby backline. They said they were going to come in depth and certainly look so.
Kefu picks up. Cool Jones the tackler. Larkham through a dummy and hit a dead end. Bowman was there to help him out. The big farmer's hands. Just on England's side of halfway. Kefu standing one off. Almost through. Pass went down. Wilson and Burke. David Wilson. Control support that time. Larkham. Herbert knocks on. And Paddy O'Brien, the touch judge, coming in here. David Wilson on the ground.
Number 1 for gold, and a white, I think it was a prop, on the ground having a push and shovey. At the end of it, when they stopped, their number 1 had to get the last go in. So number 1 goal back there. It could have cost them a try. About the 10-metre mark, I'll go to the mark. Number 1, just pull his head in, tidy it up, and a penalty for white.
So Richard Harry.
Number 1.
A little indiscretion there.
Okay. To make a long story short, off the ball stuff.
Okay, can I just say,
yeah. And you ended up, and you were spotted. So you're the unlucky one. Penalty, right opposite the referee.
Well, maybe he had a genuine self-defence there, Chris.
It's the Paul Kelly defence. Well, Richard Harry using the Paul Kelly defence there. Bit of a spat with his opposing number, and he said that he'd been grabbed by the valuables.
Private parts taboo in any sport. 30 metres out for England. Well, Archer went well, and Australia came through offside. So the Wallabies have lost momentum in this second half, and this is encouraging for the England team, who wondered which way the attack was coming from in that first half. They're going to apply pressure now with a line-out inside Australia's quarter. 7 metres out.
This is good tactic from England. They've got two superb jumpers in Greg Hock and Archer. Only 5 metres from the line. They'll drive it through here.
Roundtree came in, so did Cockrell. Paul Jones with the head bandage. Chance for England. Sternum wrapped up by Gregan. That was David and Goliath. Play on, says the referee. England, metres out, have turned it over. Matthew Burke torpedoing into touch on the quarter line.
Not the best options there from the English forwards. Wasted opportunity. Now they have a second chance.
Well, the Wallabies producing one of their best periods of rugby.
Rod McQueen and the Australian coaching team up in the stands here. We want to see the momentum build in the second half for the Wallabies.
Sternum at the back there, but the throw from Cockrell wasn't straight.
Very easy to see the 25-metre line there was the guidance.
And it looks as though Willie Offahen-Garway coming on here, Chris.
It's good. And off comes Tore Kefu for some attention. I think this is a replacement.
Tongan for Tongan. Kefu off. Offahen-Garway on.
Yes, this looks like a tactical substitute. Kefu really enjoying his first run on test. Doing a grand job in that Australian pack. Willie O's been training the house down at the base camp at Caloundra.
And I think it's most important that they get as much playing time as possible. Willie O just revels when he is match fit. He's had a lot of run-on opportunities for the Waratahs. This will give him a good chance to get into the Wallabies trial.
Solid Australian scrum. Larkham standing about 12 metres away. Gave himself plenty of room for that searching kick. 6 metres from the halfway line.
Well, Willie O in the game against England late last year at Twickenham had a storming game. What a replacement. The Stormtrooper is on.
So 6 on 6. Brewcock doing well. England go wide with some loose passing. And finally Perry just soccers into touch. But that was very untidy.
Matt Perry is looking fairly uncomfortable in the centre position. He is a very elusive fullback. It's Clive Woodward not looking all that relaxed in the stand.
I believe this is the place for George Gregan to start putting a bit of variation into his game. Take the pressure off the wide out and start using a couple of kicks over the top, getting his men onto the ball.
Larkham now. 3 on 2. Roth handled superbly. Now Burke and Larkham again in support. The referee said he knocked it on the ground. He didn't gather it cleanly.
Scrum, white. Oh.
Sensational aerial skills there from Joe Roth.
Just the execution letting the Australians down. Just a high pass was too hard for Roth. Free kick here for England. Here they go. Well, England took the free kick quickly, but apparently not from the right spot. It has to come back to where the infringement occurred, and now they have paid the penalty. Well, that's very unfortunate for England.
Let's go. Let's go.
This has been hard work in the front row for the Wallabies.
Come here.
Good low scrubbing side with all the tricks. They've got fades, they've got wheels. They've got a lot, and there's been plenty at it.
Okay?
Let's listen to it.
It won't work. You're not going to roll in. You're going to give me a leg shoulder and stay square, all right? You're not going to go with your shoulders lower than your hips. Keep them up, just up, all right? Let's do it.
That's what a good prop does. He just nods his head and says, yes, sir, and goes about doing exactly what he wants to.
Number 3. There you go.
So it's against Andrew Blades there for a boring in, it would seem.
Get back. Right.
Well, discipline letting Australia down here.
You know better. Discipline. Now.
Well, Mr. Watson has been very composed today, and there should be no reason why he should lose it. George Gregan holding the ball available, probably trying a little bit of gamesmanship.
Well, the Wallabies have gone right off the boil in this second half, and if England can capitalise here, they can restore some confidence. It was certainly badly dented. Archer did well. Diprose back to Sternum. Some good combination, cohesion here from England. It's only 12 metres out. Here they go now. Wilkinson. Matt Perry. 10 from the goal line. Benton has it. Austin Healy with a long pass. It went behind Sternum. Here's Tune. Herberts. Horan in support. And Larkham's winning too. Timmy Horan. Larkham gets his second. A breakout. An England mistake. Australia's 5th try.
Heartbreak stuff for England. And Australia again. Swoop on the loose ball. Steve Larkham, he's happy, number 2. The defence came up quickly. England got the wobbles, and off they go. Ben Tune, smart work, finds his support in Herbert on the inside. Herbert, the scissors to Horan, and Horan back inside. Steve Larkham, it's super stuff.
Austin Healy had the pace. He had the pace to run down Horan, but he didn't have the numbers there because the support just kept coming. Not only Larkham, but others were lining up inside. A good breakout and a good side under pressure will do this to you if you give them that opportunity.
How those push-up boys going down there, Butter?
Right, they're behind the pace. For those that haven't seen them, the sponsored Beer Forex has 4 boys that do the number of push-ups, the number of points, and after this one, it'll be up to 40.
You called it, Chris. Australia hits 40 for only the 2nd time against England. So Australia with 5 tries, their first in the second half. A brace for Stephen Larkham. Well, you wouldn't believe it. England players in front of the kicker at the restart. You think the referee might have a little bit of sympathy here.
Get the scrum right. Oh, thank you.
Willie O to Gregan. Larkham again. Looking for Tune. Willie O, look out! One-handed to Wilson. Well, someone was almost cut in 2 there in defence.
The crowd on Forex Hill responding to the Tongan torpedo. Willie O going down the sideline, watching Bus. Larkham just balancing. Choon switching. And Austin Healy, you've just been hit by a Mack truck.
Benton now breaking from the scrum. Poole Jones. David Wilson trying to wrestle it away. Australia going over the top and penalised. It's going to be a long second half for this England team.
We've heard this call for 50-minute times in the past in this Queensland crowd. Will England get it tonight? I'm sure they will.
Wilkinson gets his touch just short of the halfway line. Torrid introduction for the young man. But certainly there's still plenty of spirit in this England team. Wilkinson certainly stamping him as a class player of the future. Brewcock going high on halfway. Sternum taken a little high there by Finnegan. So Finnegan and Opahengawe on the field for Kefu and Cobain. Ravenscroft. Stimson in from fullback. Well, this is where England have been thwarted by the Australians at the tackle. Aussies go again. Horan! Healy in front. Burke is with him. Try number 6. The gaps are opening up all over this field here at Suncorp.
Well, guess what, folks? There's 22 minutes to go. And the score is 45 to Australia, donut to England.
And yet, Simon, 45 points as it is now. The highest number of points ever scored by the Wallabies against England. And they are doing it in style. Poor in the break, back inside the switch to Burke. He makes his kick a lot easier.
Matthew Burke.
Look at him, he's like a well-trained thoroughbred. And Matthew Burke slices in for his first try.
And his 10th Test match try. So Burke gets his 4th conversion. He's also kicked 3 penalties and scored a try.
And the crowd count out the number of push-ups that the 4X push-up guys behind the posts have got to do. 47 big ones, and they're struggling. There they are. One on this side is just dipping slightly, but they'll still be going for a while.
So it's a record Wallaby score against England. Willie Opahengawe, as he did at Twickenham in 1991 in the World Cup final. 10-metre line. England back in possession. Vickery and Cockrell doing well that time. So it's use it or lose it. It was a maul.
Willie O, isn't he relishing his time on the field here?
Dan Crowley warming up here, Chris.
Coming on this side for Richard Harry, and it's a substitution. And look at Willie O. Arms, legs, knees, everything moves.
Big win today by the Scots down in Sydney. 34 versus New South Wales 10. Morale builder for next weekend's test.
The Australians go again. Here's Joe Roth with a big palm off. Benton came again. George Gregan. Larkham. Herberts. Change of pace. Larkham supports. He's been everywhere tonight. England back in possession. Gratefully. Benton. Sternum. Head down into Blades. Perry nicely through to Ravenscroft. Brown. And Roth. And David Wilson.
talk about cover defence tonight. David Wilson, like a good open-sided flanker, has been everywhere. Good break here from English backs. Spencer Brown unable to get past the green and gold defence.
Owen Finnegan would be disappointed with his one-on-one miss, the boy. The man going back inside him.
Good communication here from the Wallaby forwards. 10 metres from halfway. Larkham. Here comes Roth. Defence was waiting. Diprose wrapped him up. Cool Jones. Finnegan. Beautiful tackle. Tim Stimson. Scott Benton now. Ravenscroft. Here's Perry, an elusive runner. Then he threw a wild pass. Stimson now. Straight to Matt Burke. Burke landing that one inside the touchline. And then it was an off break into touch. The Wallabies can do no wrong.
Talk about English clipness. The words just mincing off Clive Woodward's lips as he tries to keep his hand over his mouth. It's been a tough task bringing away a total new squad and one of the most horrendous trips you could ever have. Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and it started very tough.
$47-0, 17 minutes to go. The Englishmen playing for pride now. And, well, that's a sad mistake for the youngster. But it happens to the best of them.
And ghosted by the 7 Sport logo on the field. I think he was mesmerised. Red and white lines. No, it's the green and gold nightmare.
None of that. You can pull it. Let's go.
Australian scrum controls. Regan's gone right. Willie O flicked it back inside. Pass looked to be forward.
Willie should lead the flick passes to George Gregan. That one was forgettable. Dominic Chapman on.
Well, that's almost the alley-oop, isn't it? That far behind the back, it comes back again. We're just waiting for this replace. There is Dominic Chapman, who's been trying to get on the field for some minutes.
So now England with the penalty, 5 metres out.
Number one position. The best opening position.
So against Dan Crowley. Wilkinson. Lovely flowing punt kick. 35 metres out from the England goal line.
Larkham's had 30 possessions at fly half as Chapman comes on. He's past 22. And Johnny Wilkinson's had 17 and he's past 12. A lot of those under pressure.
Well, sanity has prevailed here. Matt Perry has gone back to fullback. And Dominic Chapman, the flyer, 34 tries in England this last season, is now on the wing. And Jason Little on the field for Australia as Matt Burke comes on. So Rock moving back to fullback, Little to the wing. Archer. Back to Sternum. Here's Benton. Unfortunate again for England. Herberts. Just short of the quarter. Gregan with a lovely platform here. Aussie backs in rectangular formation. Roth straight through the channel. 15 metres from the England goal line. Australia drive ahead. They're looking for try number 7. Larkham again. Horan with strength. It's a slow, steady build-up. They're just grinding England down at the moment and controlling the ball. Larkham now. Well tackled. England may have stolen. So close.
Well, this is an interesting move. They brought Jason Little on and Matt Burke off. This is what they would do in case of Matt Burke getting injured, so it's a good opportunity to try it. They're plugging away for holes. This defence of England's holding out. It's taking all they've got, but they've still got some left in the tank.
Well, Larkham just managed to roll over there and save the possession for Australia. And the front row's ready to go. 47-0 here at Suncorp.
The many Scots watching the game up there in Hong Kong on Star TV. Looking forward to next week's game in Sydney against Australia.
Well, Wallaby coach Rod McQueen, his first match in charge of the Australian side on home soil. And what a night it's been for him and his coaching staff. Jeff Miller there too with Tim Lane. Leo to Gregan. Joe Roth, so close again. Gregan quickly. Horan. Horan's already scored 1. Herberts. Grand defence from England, but they can't hold out Ben Tune for a hat-trick. 50 up for the Wallabies at Suncorp.
How many times tonight have we seen the switch of direction and attack break the English defence? Sustained attack here. Eventually the scissors back inside. The Ben Tune finds the gap.
Well, it's one thing to win the battle of insults in the paper warfare. The other thing is to go out and do it on the field. Australia have done it in style tonight. And from the rugby school to Brisbane Boys College, all young students of the game would be delighted with the performance put in by the 1998 Wallabies so far.
Well, let me just correct myself. I've given Ben Tune 3 tries. It's 2, along with Stephen Larkham, who's kicking for goal. That's the way to do it. Substitute kicker. He's a bit like John Eales, Stephen Larkham. Is there anything he can't do?
Yeah, the guy's a genius. 54-0.
John Eales then. Australian forwards control it again, but hands in the ruck.
There you go. Number 4. Get out. Put your hands in.
11 and a half agonising minutes to go for the England team.
And the crowd going off because the push-up boys have only just finished their 54th push-up, and they are not doing it well.
They've got crates of 4X under their backsides there. They've got a good night ahead, but they've got to work for it.
So Phil Kearns in his 50th Test match. You'll never forget this one. Tom Bowman running like a three-quarter to Wilson, ever present. Gregan. Round 3 wrapped him up. Willio in close. Archer the tackler. Now Larkham again. 3 on 2. Joe Roth tries to stand in the tackle, but driven back well by Ravenscroft. Gregan. Little. Jason Little with a lovely step. Flicked it up to Gregan. And another one for the Wallabies. They're 8th.
What fantastic depth is Clive Woodward. Just what could he be thinking now? Jason Little on as a reserve provides the opportunity for George Gregan to get across. Little steps, Austin Healy, fantastic cover, but Gregan was there to take the pass and score.
Well, good on you, Rod McQueen. Your depth in your attack has proved the day for the Wallabies so far. It is game 1, but your young Chargers are doing it in style, obviously relishing at wonderful conditions at Caloundra, on the Sunshine Coast, and here at Suncorp Stadium.
Larkham misses with the opportunity to hit 60. Australia 59-0.
I reckon you might see the push-up boys joining England defence soon. It's getting too hard.
Johnny Wilkinson there. There's the restart for England. Finnegan. Good two-hander. Archer tries to spoil. He's been a game performer for England. Willio charges off the Gregan pass. Back to Wilson. Sloppy ball as Duprose goes down. Picked up by Larkham. He turns them inside out. Tune! Healy to Meeks. Foran! Back for Larkham. And that's a hat-trick. Australia's highest ever score against a home nation, eclipsing the 63 points against Wales here in Brisbane in 1991.
Those players back at home in England who've stayed there without genuine reason, they should hang their heads in shame. They've left a very inexperienced side here up against an Australian side on fire.
Well, surely this is a man of the match performance for Stephen Larkham, not only because of he scored 3 tries, but because he's come in under so much pressure with so many new things to do. He's not only done his own job well, he's helped when others have fallen a bit short. And talking about falling short, the push-up boys only got to 20 on their quest of 69. I think they're over and out.
Still 7 minutes to go. Larkham making sure of that one. It's all the Sixers. 66 here at Suncorp. A sorry scoreboard for England. And sanity prevails for the push-up boys. So Wilkinson. A nightmare for this young England team. New Zealand and South Africa still to come for Clive Woodward's tourists. Willio in place. Duprose again wrapping up the Aussie number 8. Larkham again. Doing it at will. Crowley was there. Here's Herbert now. David Wilson again. Burrows through. John Eales in support this time, and so is Crowley. He couldn't hold on. He did well to be there in the first place.
Hold it, fellas. Lock on.
Dan Crowley, he's not happy with himself here. Dave Wilson, big game tonight. Dan Crowley just takes his attention off that ball and gets slammed by Johnny Wilkinson.
Well, David Wilson should
So
know.
Australia by 66-0 at Suncorp Stadium.
Dave Wilson has had a touchy hamstring for quite some time. No flyer on the bench to come up for him, although he could always play Nathan Gray at open side, I think.
As I started to say, they every back rower should know. A propper's already flat out. Don't throw the ball in front of him.
Sternum comes away for England. 10 metres short of the halfway line. Australian hand in there. And England wanting to go on quickly there through Benton. So can this demoralised England side at least salvage some points on the scoreboard? 5 minutes remaining.
Rod McQueen not even managing a smile this time.
.42 metres out from Australia's goal line. 33-0 at half-time. The Wallabies have doubled the score in the second half. Will he offer Hengawe? Familiar one-handed pass to Crowley. Gregan now, and Larkham. Horan, quick hands needed. Roth with great skill. Knocked back. Herbert again. Finnegan, they're not putting men on the ground here. The first-time tackles, understandable. A very weary England side at the moment. Holding on with their last gasps. Willio in midfield. Look out. Awesome. Phil Kearns. Gregan again. They're looking for try number 10. Roth. Horan. Australia hit 70.
Well, what a scoreline. Let's look at a few headlines across the rugby world. Beautiful play yet again. So many skilled players amongst this Australian back seven. And in depth with their reserves as well. But Larkham again getting that ball wide. Churn, terrific skills. And finally Horan backs up out wide for yet another.
With possession at disorder and pace that these guys have to burn, the English defence just has no answer. Tim Horan untouched out wide. And this unfortunate English team brought here with so many missing from their so-called first 15 have had to suffer this onslaught by this Wallaby team.
If successful here, Larkham would have equalled Australia's second highest score, which was against Western Samoa back in 1994. But for the second time, a Rod McQueen coach side has chalked up 70 points against a home nations team. It happened in 1991 for the New South Wales Waratahs. George Gregan then. Cockrell tried to spoil. Finnegan. So an advantage for England, just 2 minutes to go.
Come down, fellas. Not going.
Well, there haven't been too many errors from the Australian team tonight, Chris Handy.
No good, and they've done it very well, and we talked about that early. Mistakes. They've had very few turnovers. They're playing with the new ball here tonight, but it's obviously passed the test. It's been handled and kicked beautifully. But this is a very committed and a very highly concentrated Australian performance. 71 points, the biggest margin ever, I think, for a Wallaby team. Margin as in 71 points. I think previously 70 was the biggest margin. And they've just been so relentless in going on with the job. And it's been every man across the field.
Well, turnovers have been. Australia's had 16 turnovers, England 14, but Australia's had so much more possession.
Here's Diprose. So it's not the biggest margin yet. England want points. Finnegan couldn't pick up. Good clean out there from their forwards. Perry. That's Chapman. England had their chance for their first try. Wilkinson had a go. Vincent supported. Australian defence has been very well organised. That's Archer. Straight into Eels. A minute and a half to go. Ravenscroft, but Australia offside. And also going over the top in the maul. Archer plays on quickly. Oh, that was a terrible mistake. Now Australia will look to punish again. Torrance there. Ben Tune. It's all over. And that is a very sad end for the England team. A triumphant one for the Wallabies. That is their highest ever test score.
Punished yet again, England. The copper on attack against Australia, and Ben Tune, the speed merchant, just goes.
This is view poetry in motion. This is a tune you'd play any time. It goes down the line, put into position beautifully by support players. And if you're on the wing, you've got to be able to run fast, and this man could. The timing on Finnegan's pass was perfect. It allowed him the catcher to get outside his man and to put Tune into motion. And this gallant English side in defence just didn't have the answer, the pace, or the ability to get there.
So Joe Rock misses the conversion. And Australia has emerged victorious. Its highest ever test score. Its biggest ever winning test margin. A famous scoreboard here for the Wallabies at Suncorp Stadium. And they're getting a standing ovation from this 30,000 plus crowd.
Well, we thought this English side would struggle with the players they sent out here, but I tell you what, 76-0 was in no one's mind out there. It's just been such a superb performance by the Wallabies. Their skill, their eagerness to attack, their defence out there against the English side, who at times tried to spread it wide, was just unbelievable.